Welcome to Reach Out, the program that highlights the amazing work carried out by local nonprofits, the wonderful people who lead these organizations, and the committed volunteers who give of themselves but wind up receiving even more. I'm Bernadette Wagner, Director of Volunteer Washington County, and my guest today is Jodie Ostoich, Executive Director of Washington County's REACH. REACH partners with faith communities to provide homeless adults with safe, temporary shelter to avoid the risk of injury due to exposure, and they also offer programs and services including case management, which encourages self-sufficiency. REACH is an organization that believes service is not just a one-time effort, but rather it's a lifestyle of consistent caring. It relies heavily on volunteers to help with its resource center and cold weather shelter and funds raising those efforts. Jodie will tell us about the programs offered at REACH and the many ways to support this organization and describe the numerous volunteer opportunities open to those who want to make a difference. Thank you, Jodie, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome. First of all, just tell me a little bit about REACH's history, some of your mission.
Sure. REACH's mission is to respond out of compassion to people in need. That takes several different forms at our organization. One is a 24-hour crisis program that we run. We're very well known in the community for the shelter, but I think folks don't know as well about these other programs. So the 24-hour crisis program, if people get put out during the night or we respond to calls from the police about sheltering people, when our shelter's open, we can bring them to the shelter. Sometimes we do motel placements. We also have a day resource program where people, it's not just homeless people that we serve, we also serve working poor, so people can come in and find out about other options and opportunities available in the community to help them.
Are these staffed by social workers or?
These are staffed by volunteers. You can think of REACH as an organization that is professionally led by staff, but volunteers do the work of the program.
Okay.
And we have about 1,300 volunteers that come through our doors. And we have some that volunteer in the day resource program and helping with our crisis needs. We have some that will take those 24-hour around-the-clock calls from the police or from CASA for placing people. And then we have the bulk of the volunteers come through the cold weather shelter when we're open 5 months out of the year for that.
And I believe you said you have a new program starting. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. We're really excited about it's called Open Table. And Open Table is a way that we can help lift an individual or a family out of poverty. And the way this works is that person or that family is like the chairman, and they get a team of mentors around them. So it's like a chairman and their board of directors, and they help make a plan for that person's life. They carry that out through the next year. And that people who come around that individual are found within the faith community. So we work with local congregations to try to put those tables together so that when we have a family or an individual screened and ready to go, we can place them right with a church that's ready to help them.
So the mentor / board of directors, they're helping these people with a broad spectrum. You have somebody maybe doing education, somebody doing employment, somebody doing job counseling.
It depends on the needs of the individual. Really what we're looking for is to help establish and create relationships for people. Often when people are in poverty or homeless, their networks of people that they have around them aren't really people that can help bring them up out of the situation. So we're looking to basically re-network people so that they can create this new support system in their life that will help sustain them as they work towards their own goals for their life.
And are these, as with this program, do these people who are supported by a congregation, do they need to be members of that congregation?
No, not at all. Not at all. And through our case management program, those will be the initial people that we screen for Open Table. There's an extensive background and screening process that takes place to determine that you have the right candidate. But we'll funnel that through case management and hope to create some success and some long-term sustainability for people.
And how many people do you hope to serve this first year?
We set the bar low.
Okay.
3.
Okay, 3.
3, yeah. It's not a program of mass volumes because it takes, if you're committing to someone for a year, that's a lengthy process.
Sure.
So it's not going to be, we're not going to get hundreds of people through it the first year.
Okay, great. And now, Jodie, I know that you have a very active board of directors yourself. How many people serve on your board, and are you interested, and does your organization need new board members?
We always need new board members. We have term limits for our board members, so yes. I think right now we have 14 board members.
And they're all volunteers?
They're all volunteers. And we would consider our board a working board, not an advisory board. So the board members actively get involved and serve in the programs and in the fundraising of the organization.
Okay, and speaking of fundraising, do you have any events that you want to tell us about?
Sure. Well, just last week we finished a phenomenal Taste of the Town. We're really excited. We had a new venue. We had some phenomenal restaurants there. That's always in September of every year, so look forward another year before that happens. But in the spring, we're having a family running festival in early April, and that's going to include a 1-miler, a 5K, 10K, and a half marathon. So It's a really fun day.
That sounds exciting. Now, other volunteer opportunities that I read on your website might include somebody to do drives to pick up supplies or to become a shelter or help with these fundraising events.
Sure.
How do people get involved with that?
Well, they need to call REACH and,
Okay.
and find out and say what it is that they have time to do, and we can steer them in the right direction. But supply drives are a wonderful thing. Right now we're looking for congregations to help us the week of Thanksgiving because we have some vacancy in the shelter spot. So we're looking for congregations willing to step up and help with that.
Okay, well, that sounds great. And how many people do you currently have at the shelter? Will you actually open October 27th?
That's
correct?
right. The shelter opens October 27th.
And how many people can the shelter house?
Each night, 56. But through that 5-month period, we usually see about 250 to 270 people come through the door.
Well, that's really great. It's an important organization providing incredibly necessary support for folks in our community. So we really appreciate everything REACH does.
Thank you. And we appreciate the support from the community.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Jodie for joining us on today's show, and thank you, our viewing audience, for watching. On REACH's website, it says more than 1,000 volunteers support REACH's Resource Center and Cold Weather Shelter. It's not surprising that so many people want to get involved. It's an organization whose core values of compassion, diversity, dignity, partnership, relationship, and faith are shared by many caring people from all walks of life. The Cold Weather Shelter, which opens on October 27th, needs your support. There are lots of ways you can get involved. Make a donation, volunteer your time, pick up supplies. We're glad that you've joined us today. We wish you the very best of days. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.